All right, guys, welcome back. Just toying around a little bit. Today we'd like to take on another lesson-oriented video for you today. And we're going to talk about just basic blues chords. I do a lot of weird, odd chords in some of my videos, and some folks have asked me to just go over some good basic blues movements when it comes to chord work on the guitar. And the best way to think about blues in terms of pentatonic scales, in terms of musical movements, is it consisted of dominant chords, not totally, but primarily when you talk about a 1-4-5 progression, they're all dominant chords. Okay, if you want to learn about some of the more minor movements and some of the other cool stuff, check out our video on T-Bone Walker chords, because that goes into a lot of cool chords and substitutions and things. That's not what this video is about. This is about just basic chords to get you talking with other guitarists in the blues language. So the chords can be broken up into a couple of basic, super basic categories. Major chords and minor chords. You got minor pentatonics, you got major pentatonic. Pretty simple, okay? And depending on if you're in a minor key or if you're in a major key. And those are the two easiest ways to separate those things. When you talk about the one chord, it's the building block of the entire tune. There's different ways you can change between these three chords, but most blues tunes consist of three basic chords. In the intro, we're in the key of A. I had some drive going there in the intro. I'm going to turn that down just for this lesson. Okay, so we're in the key of A. That's an A7, okay? So that would be a one chord. A lot of your chords in blues movements are going to be seventh chords. So they're going to have that kind of, funk to them. If you're talking something like La Bamba or any of those like 60s tunes, of course you're going to hear, that's just a 1, 4, and a 5, straight up major chords, no sevenths, anything like that. When you get into blues, you want to really deal with seventh chords, okay, as a starting point. So if you're in a major key, like someone yells out, all right, we're doing blues in A major. Well, assume A major 7. All right, so. You go to the 4 chord, it can be a fast change, or depending on the way the progression sounds, you're eventually going to come up to a 4 chord. The 4 chord can also be a 7th. So in a lot of these other videos that you'll see me doing, you'll hear me talk about like 9 chords, where you're getting into the. We're not talking about 9th chords yet, but they do come into play, but not in the context of this video. This is just to teach you basic 1-4-5. So getting onto the 4 chord, that's going to be the D. In the key of A, that's going to be D. All right, so the 5 chord in A is going to be E. Okay, so your 5 chord is going to be E, E7. Go to the 4 chord, that's D. There's a couple of different ways that you can make that shape. You're going to see some guitar players do it like this. Like if I want to make this shape, this is a E7. Sorry, wrong chord. Those chords are real simple, so it's easy for me to flub it because I get into overthinking it. I went up there and I reached for an A7 and I was thinking D7. That would be here. This is a D7. An A7 would be this chord. There's different places all over the neck that you can play these chords, and they all have different tonalities and different sound to them, right? If I go way up here, so see this seventh shape that I'm playing right here on the D string, or the A string, as I'm playing a D7. Okay, well, if the song's in A, I can reach up here and I can grab this A way up here on the 12th fret. Okay, so you're getting into sort of that kind of walking blues, little things going on. There's different rhythmic things that you can do with those chords. There's different, tempos that they're played, different styles that they're played in, jump blues, swing, you get into shuffles, you get into rumbles. All of those different rhythmic patterns bring their own challenges to those chords, but knowing the structure of those chords allows you to kind of take it on to whatever level you want to take it on to. Okay, like another way you could play those chords, if you're in A7, for instance, you could even, get into more of like a jump blues sort of thing. And this is giving an example of how rhythmically you would take it to a different kind of place, would be almost more of like a... getting into some more of those more rhythmic things, but the basic concept is the same. And what I'm doing is I'm just basically going over to the 4 chord quick, and I'm going between the 1 and the 4, but I'm just doing that within the context of the 1, 4, 5. So when it goes to D, I'm going to go up and go. All right, so that's major chords in a nutshell. Remember, this is basic. Those are kind of hard things to play, but you can get your mind around them. Once you get, past the 7ths, on major chords, we can also get into 9ths, but that's not in the context of this video. If you want to learn more, look at the T-Bone Walker video, or in a future video, we'll go over 9 chords. So now let's talk about minors a little bit. I know you guys have heard tunes in minor keys, okay? And it's basically going to get it treated exactly the same way. Now, a blues tune that's in a minor key, like let's say A minor, just straight up A minor, just like A major. You don't have to go A minor 7 if you don't want to, but I'm going to let you hear the difference. Here's just a straight up A minor. A 7th will sound like this. Four chord would be a D minor 7. I prefer to play minor 7s, that's just me, because when I get into minor 7s, then I can... E would be your 5 chord. Five chord, 4 chord, back to the 1 chord. So just like major blues, the minor is really, it's just the difference of that lower third. And I choose to use minor 7th chords. I think they sound a little prettier and give you a little bit of variance in it. without sounding so kind of honky, you know, I don't know. I mean, a minor chord's a minor chord, but you can get away with a good bit, okay, in terms of your minor chords. And we'll go into some minor things that you can do that are a lot of fun to play with in the context of a blues progression in a future video. I wanted this to be about really basic blues chords, major, minor. So to give you an idea of some lines that I would play over that, okay, in the intro I played some kind of, I guess it would be major pentatonic sounding sort of stuff or whatever over some major chords. If I wanted to kick on some drive and do something that's a little bit more minor-esque sounding, if somebody's playing those minor chords and we're in A, you know, whatever, you get the idea. You're getting into more of the melodic sounding kind of stuff, minor, pentatonic, and getting into some of the more modal things you can sort of play around with. That's just to give you kind of an example of the lines that you'll hear over that type of a tonality. So if you're thrown into a tune, and let's just say the band leader goes, we're in C, and then goes, and then it's a minor tune. He didn't say C minor. You'll instantly know if it is a minor tune. It'll have some very different tonality to it. You'll instantly know if you're trying to play a major chord over a minor progression. So when you're communicating with other musicians, then it would be the idea of, all right, well, we're going to do a take on this 1-4-5. It's a quick change to the 4 after a few measures or whatever, and then, you know, it's in a minor key, and you go about your business. And most musicians can sort of just jump into a jam and kind of figure out what's going on somewhat instantly, even to the degree that some folks that just do it enough can do it so well that they, even though they've never played together, they sound like they've been playing together for years. And it's just having that knowledge of those progressions and the way that those chords change between each other. Because blues progressions revolve around the 1, the 4, and the 5, it's kind of hard to make a mistake. I mean, you're not having to worry about, you know, a whole lot of crazy movement. Now, unless you get into some of the other weird chords, which we go over in other videos. If you want to learn some more difficult chords, go over and check out our T-Bone Walker video. It's got a lot of stuff in there that goes into some advanced chord work if you want to learn more bluesy chord work that kind of borderlines into the jazz stuff a little bit. So, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. We hope you learned something. These are very rudimentary, basic chords, not trying to like insult anybody's intelligence, just trying to give you an idea of what's going on, and maybe you saw some ways to play these chords that maybe you would have never thought of if you didn't watch this video. So thank you so much for watching today. We post every Monday and Friday here on Guitarsenal. Make sure you tune in, and we really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.